Hey y'all, what's up? Stacia Jeanette back with you for another episode. I know it has been some time, but again, I got a lot of moving pieces going on right now in my life, and 144, 250. If y'all know, you know what I'm talking about. I've been in these spiritual streets deep lately, especially during the time of kind of this Return of the Gods, a lot of the light beings, a lot of the divine beings coming here, getting things ready and prepared, for New Earth, helping to assist with this massive quantum leap, this massive grand awakening and ascension process that the collective consciousness is currently going through. So we're all being, my 144, 250, asked to do a lot of different things kind of at the same time. So just wanted to let you guys know, if you are new to listening to me or you're just now discovering that I am not like most other content creators or posters. I come through and give messages whenever I'm led to, whenever Source Guide Universe tells me, hey, make this or put this out. And that's what I'm doing here today. And today's message is about accepting who you truly are. It is about walking in your authenticity very transparently, very courageously, very boldly, very just unapologetically and fearlessly, and being okay with not being accepted. Because let's be honest, a lot of us have not been accepted for who we are our entire time on this planet thus far. But that is now changed, and it's strange, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, it's very scary to come out of our shell, to come out of our caves, to come out of our hiding spots, to live and walk our truth when just in the very not so far away recent past, we were chastised, we were persecuted, we were ostracized for the very thing that I am asking you and telling you that we are being called to do right now. And a lot of us as starseeds, a lot of us as divine beings have a very clear remembrance of a lot of our past lives and incarnations where we were treated really, really badly, where we were sacrificed, where we had some really extreme, painful traumas, and for lack of better words, some really foul shit was done to us for us simply coming here and living our truth and trying to do our destined work, our destined life path that, unbeknownst to those who were condemning us, was for the benefit of the higher good, the benefit of all. So we still carry, a lot of us still carry those wounds, those soul deep wounds, and we remember those things. But it's time for us to acknowledge that, hey, we've been through some shit, but it is our time. It is okay right now for us to come out of our caves and live our truth, and trust that it's okay this time. Trust that it's okay for us to expose all the raw, real, vulnerable, weird, unique, mystical, magical, divine parts of ourselves, because that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. And that's the only way that our star family is going to be able to find us, and that's really, really important right now. So picking up where I left off, from my personal experience, it is absolutely what I was saying, that I have a deep remembrance of not just this current lifetime, but many, many lifetimes prior, where exactly what I explained happened. And this lifetime, I came here to break through that and kind of be the guiding light for others to do the same, to plant the seeds and strike the match to awaken and activate others to do the same thing. And I hope that those who find this podcast and this episode, this particular segment and series, I hope that right now you are able to activate and that you're able to break out of the spells, to reclaim and take your power back, and have the courage right now to embrace all that you are, all of your divine essence, all of your soul's true purpose. I hope that you are able to find the confidence and courage to walk in alignment with your soul's true purpose. I hope that you find the strength and the courage to face the world as you truly are, as magical, as mystical, as unique, as beautiful, as powerful as you truly are, and no longer feel the need to dim yourself down, no longer feel the need to hide yourself away, no longer feel the need to have these fears of judgment or think, what are they going to say? What are they going to do to me? Even if those are not conscious fears that you've ever experienced this current lifetime, know that it's okay to feel some resistance when doing this, because you're breaking the chain, you're breaking the pattern, you're breaking out of the illusion, and you're kind of going against the grain of what this planet ultimately wanted. A lot of us who are divine beings, and a lot of us who are star seeds, and here with a specific purpose to bring about this enlightenment, to bring about this new earth, to bring about the lifting of consciousness. You're breaking out of this. So of course you're going to feel some resistance. You're going to feel scared. You're doing something different, and that's normal. That's perfectly normal. And if anything, it should really give you kind of a little bit of glimmer of hope and encouragement that you are on the right track and you are doing something magnificent and grand. You're doing something that you've not done before, and more than likely you are doing something that your lineage has not done before. So you are, in fact, the proverbial ancestral generational curse breaker. You are that one for your family, for your bloodline, and for that you should be really, really proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself and really celebrate how far you have come, instead of kind of feeling some sort of negative emotion about the process that we're going through. Again, I can only speak to you guys from my personal experiences, and I am always in the future going ahead, forging this path for everybody to follow. But in my own personal experience, these are some of the signs and symptoms that I have had to go through, where it's been a constant internal battle of how much force do I apply? Am I not applying enough force? Do I need to shine my light brighter? Do I need to, not? Am I overshining? It's this. There's no playbook for. There's no playbook for this. There isn't. Like, we're writing it. I'm writing, again, from my own personal experience. I'm writing this playbook right now, and it is challenging simply for the aforementioned facts of it's going against the grain. It's a path not even forged or developed yet. So it's a constant every single day battle of internally me thinking, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Am I stepping on too many toes? Am I being too passive? Am I not being assertive or aggressive enough? Am I being too overbearing? And the key is that I have found thus far in this entire very complex process is just trying to flow with the energy and not forcing things. So that's why I'm saying I'm not a consistent poster, and I will never be, because I've found that when I try to force an outcome, when I try to quote unquote keep up with the Joneses on posting things to keep my engagement or whatever up, or to keep the, all eyes on me thing, it not only does it create kind of this resistance wall internally with me, but externally it feels grimy for me. Like it feels like I'm kind of smacking up against an internal wall. Like, okay, sorry. For those of you who know, whenever I'm giving this, I'm channeling. It's like I'm live feeding from source right now, source, God, universe. So the images that I'm getting is like, yeah, like the energy is trying to walk up the down escalator is what it feels like when I try to force the outcome, when I try to force content. And that's because I'm not flowing. I'm not taking the inspired action. I'm not following source, God, universe's direction. And so it therefore is, number one, it drains me really energetically. Like it really messes with my energy. I feel tired. I feel very frustrated, even though, yes, I've put content out and I'm like, okay, great, I got this out, and maybe my engagement is still in the green or what have you on the analytics. Side note with that, I think those of us who are on this path, and I know it's a very few of us, 250 and 144 out of how many billions on this planet. But the side note on that is I encourage you probably to not look at the engagement, because again, it's another thing that kind of keeps you stuck in the invisible rat race of external validation. And that's not what we're here for. And again, another lesson that I have had to learn and go through, because again, a lot of us have been isolated and not accepted. So we still have, a lot of us have that inner child wound healing that has to be done by knowing that our validation is coming from within, and accepting the call to accept our walking in our truth and our soul's true purpose, accepting the call to our north node, our destiny life. So anyways, I have learned to, number one, stop looking at the engagement, because it doesn't matter. Who's meant to find these things will find it. And to also just do what feels right in terms of when I wake up every day, do I feel like, okay, I need to create something, I need to make a change, I need to be more assertive today, I need to be less assertive today, I need to go into hermit mode for a couple of days, I need to put myself out into the world and see the light on this day. Like, this is what this is the flow that I have finally started to get into, I would say, just over the last couple of days. And at the date that I'm recording this right now is September 16th, 2023. So maybe like over the last couple of days, maybe the 11th or the 12th is when I started getting into the groove of things, getting into the flow more so. And again, it was not, and it is not easy, because the key is absolutely finding the balance, finding that sweet spot of applying pressure but not becoming overbearing. So there's this thing where a lot of us who have, again, this is highly, it's not for everybody, and not everybody's going to get it. It's definitely, if you know, you know. But there's this thing for those of us who are spiritually gifted, right? Where we can very, very easily go from the Hierophant, right, in the tarot deck, like the high priest, whatever you want to call it, to being the devil, like, right, being too overbearing, too controlling, too, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that there's a fine line, really, of, yes, we have a purpose and we are meant to get our messages and our content and all the things out, but you don't want to tip the scale into the realm of, like, now you're trying to, you're in the, you're wanting to play God source universe with the outcome too much. When the outcome is already going in your favor and you're just like trying to hold it, you're trying to like hold the force there and ensure that, like, oh no, like, we're not going to be repeating any of this and any of the shit that happened to us in the past. Nay, it will not be occurring this way ever again. And I get it. Again, I'm not telling you guys anything that I have not had to go through myself, that I have not experienced myself. I'm telling you everything from my personal experience. So I know there's this deep need or desire for wanting to make sure that things go well this time, that we get it right this lifetime. So, but also the battle is forever going to be finding the flow and finding the balance and creating just the right elixir, just the right concoction of our desire, our destiny and purpose, and what God Source Universe has put forth for us to experience, put in our path, in our soul, in our heart and minds, to bring about here on this lifetime, and to walk authentically as we truly are, as our divine highest self. It is a slippery slope, but try not to do the things that I have done in the past. And that's what this whole segment is about, is me trying to give you guys some little nuggets, some little bite-sized pieces of encouragement and kind of like cliff notes, cheat codes to this process, so that maybe you guys' journey will be a lot less problematic for yourselves than mine was, because again, I didn't have a me other than God's Source Universe. So I'm trying to be the leader that I would have loved to have in the physical for you all. And with that being said, I'm a Virgo. Let me get that disclaimer out. I am a Virgo sun, and every bit of it shows as I look back in my life of how very hard I am constantly on myself. I do not give myself enough credit, and the perfectionism beast is a one to tango with, for real, because this process has worn me down. this process has worn me down, mentally and emotionally and spiritually, because it has been a constant internal battle, because I don't want, it's been this fear of, number one, of not I'm like, I don't want to fuck this up. And that in itself is like a whole set of issues. Like, this, we're doing things that there's no guidebook to it. So you're gonna mess up, and there's really no mess ups. That's the thing, is there really is no mess ups for unscripted, uncharted territory, and I'm putting that there for you guys to know, so that you can feel confident, maybe potentially alleviate that from your journey, of worrying, not to worry about, I don't want to fuck this up, because that's irrelevant, is what I'm trying to say. And number two, I care so much about people in general. And I think as an empath, as somebody with clairsentience, feeling like I feel everything, and I have this gift of I say gift, but sometimes it's a kind of a beast in its own to have, but this gift of being able to put myself in other people's shoes very quickly, and play out the scenario that I'm about to play out, like, to them, but like from their perspective, how would I take it? How would it make me feel? And it's like a total mind trip, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, because that has been something that has influenced a lot of my decisions that I have made or did not make, is because, like, I'm not out here in the streets just looking for blood. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here I have a very strict do no harm policy, but also at the same time, I'm an Aries rising, so I also have that take no shit side very equally. Like, and this is what I mean by it is an ever-going internal balance. They're showing me the Chariot in my mind, where it is the two opposing horses on this card. The Chariot drives, the balanced Emperor forward to their destined path. But the obstacle, the challenge, the ever-going challenge, is keeping both the blue and the red horse, the two opposing horses, or the two opposing forces, going in the same direction. And for me, that has been, when I tell you guys that I'm doing multiple missions this lifetime, like, I'm not kidding. This is one thing. Balancing these two opposing, the blue and the red, the two opposing forces, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the empress, the emperor, the dark, the light, at the same time, it's been rough, because we're wanting to approach things from two totally different ways. The Aries in me is like, we're getting shit done by any means necessary, and the Virgo in me is like, no. And I view it as almost this like divine couple within me, right? That's like, the Empress is like, no, no, that's not how we do this. Like, we have to do things with love and compassion, and we lead. We don't, we don't dictate. We inspire. We don't tell. You know what I'm saying? We're not controlling. We're guiding. And whereas the Emperor, or the divine masculine, or the whatever, the red side is like, Okay. But you doing all that is what has kind of, long story short, effed you. People pleasing, caring too much about others, putting others' needs and well-beings before your own has gotten you in the position of feeling disempowered, of feeling used and abused, and people just take you for granted and walk all over you, and it's like the rebuttal coming from the Empress, the divine feminine side, or the blue side is like, okay, but also, if we're going there, like your approach is what creates empires to fall. You become a tyrant and nobody wants to be around you, and it becomes this whole thing. You're now a control freak, you're power hungry, you're just destroying empires and cities and towns, and you're after blood, and you don't care who you gotta chop down or what you gotta say or do to get what you want, and that's not okay. And so it's this middle path that I have been forging. Y'all, I am about to turn 31 on September 20th. And for the 31 years that I have been alive, this has been my constant internal battle of keeping the two opposing forces within me on the same page and finding this compromise, this temperance balance, this ability to get things going on the destined path in a balanced way, right? Because only the balanced emperor can drive the chariot forward to the destined path. And that is exactly what I have been achieving. But as you can tell from what I have just explained to you, it's not easy at all. And in the next segment, I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the very difficult sacrifices and choices that I've had to make to get to this point. That also, none of this has been easy. So you're gonna hear me say that a lot. It wasn't easy. It's not easy. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's definitely not for the weak. And that's why many are called. Wait, what is it? I think I said it wrong. Many are chosen, but few are called, or many are called, but few are chosen. Because you can be called, but it's up to you to walk the path, right? It's up to you to accept the mission. It's up to you to accept this path not forged yet, or the path that I'm currently forging. It is rough. It is very rough, and it is an everyday battle and struggle. You feel frustrated a lot, but it does help once you start to get into this flow. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode right here, and we will pick up on the next one. And stay tuned for my next episode. I love y'all. B Squad. Hey y'all, welcome back. So on this one, I wanted to kind of pick up where I was left off with the balancing the opposites and finding the flow and being your true higher self, you. But with that, knowing that not a lot of people are going to be able to be around the new you. Those who didn't accept you as you were to begin with will gradually start kind of being exiled from your life and kind of given the option to meet you at your higher level or fall off, from your life. And that just is what it is. But I just want to tell you all that now, that this is a side effect of you walking in your truth, but you should by no means feel like you need to dim to fit in, or that you should hold your true self back or hold your growth back because certain people will fall out of your life. And I think the important thing here is to remember that you can always hold space for these people to grow and meet you at your higher level, or you know what I'm saying? Because people always have the opportunity to ascend, to grow their frequency, to also choose to opt in to do the healing work, right? So that you can hold space for people to rise to meet you at your elevated consciousness level, or not. That's the beauty of free will, right? But I think this is the thing that everybody needs to learn and accept at this point in time on planet Earth. People need to accept that everybody has the same choice, and so there should never be this competitive nature that we have adopted here of like, oh, they're doing better than me, and you know what I'm saying, this kind of like very petty viewpoint, this jealousy viewpoint, this negative viewpoint that people have of those of us who have chosen to answer our call and chosen to ascend, to do the inner healing work, to do the inner childhood healing, to do the shadow work, to sit with ourselves and deep dive into who we truly are, get to know who we truly are, unpack all of our wounds, our traumas, all the things, and work on them and deal with them to start this ascension process. It's insane because these are all things that are literally presented to us every single day. Anybody. You don't have to be a 144 or 250. You don't have to be like, quote unquote, chosen, right? To choose to heal, right? That's something that I want to make very clear, because there is this thing that is happening where people are making it seem as if it's one side or the other. And if you have ever been on one side, then you can never be on another side, right? That like, oh, it's too late. I can't make a change. I can't become better. I have to stay, For example, if you've just been on demon time all the time, you've just been in the trenches of doing foul shit. For lack of better words here, that's not the end all be all. Really, if God's source universe wakes you up, that is God's source universe telling you got a chance to make a change. Every single day. That is the proverbial olive branch being extended to you every single day. That's the opportunity of forgiveness, of salvation, of redemption, of change, of your freedom. That's the olive branch being extended every day. If you wake up, then you have a choice to walk in your north node, to walk in your destined path, to ascend, to leave behind your past ways, your past self, your past way of thinking, of perceiving the world, all the things every single day. So there is really no need for this falsified competition of, oh, they're doing better than me, or they have this and I can't have that, of people who were called and decided to answer the call and walk their destined path, and decided to do the healing work and decided to transform themselves. This has to stop, because every single day you too, like right now, if you're listening to this and you're feeling some type of way, I encourage you to stop and reflect, number one, and ask yourself, why are you feeling this type of way? but also to then take it a step further and say, can I make a change? Should I make a change? Am I willing to put in the work that is required of me to make this change so that I can have this type of fulfilling life, of walking in my North Node, of fulfilling my life's destiny and purpose, my soul's true purpose, of walking in alignment with who I truly, authentically am? And the answer is yes, because God, Source, Universe will forever give you that strength, that courage, that energy, that power, that resiliency to get it done. But it is not easy. It's not an overnight process, and it does take time, but you have got to make that choice. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know I go all over the place, but I don't control these. I don't control the readings, but this is something that we are up against quite a bit right now. There's a lot of people thinking that they're not able to, or they're not worthy of redemption, that they're not worthy of forgiveness, that they're not worthy of being able to walk in alignment with their highest purpose, and be authentically them. And a lot of times it has to do with how we were brought up, who we were brought up around, cultural things, sometimes even religious things, or simply the fear of what will happen if I let go of this false persona. Maybe some people are famous and have, a certain quote unquote image to uphold, and they're internally battling with how will the world perceive or take me dropping the mask, dropping the image that I have. How is this going to affect my money? And again, I'm saying this because, again, I'm guided. I'm just here I'm the messenger. I'm just here to deliver them. I'm trying to tell you what the vibe is. That's a concern from somebody, because I wouldn't be channeling it if not. But again, this is why I'm saying you're going to have to make a decision upon what is truly important to you. Salvation, redemption, letting your soul feel like it is free to be and do what it was meant to be and do on this lifetime, in this incarnation, this lifetime? Or do you want to keep living an unfulfilled life that is squandering you and taking the life out of you? Do you want to keep... I don't want to... right now you guys are witnessing me having one of these internal conflicts, because I know it's about to piss some people off. But I'm going to say it anyway. So, do you want to continue being a puppet to the society? To the matrix? Or do you want to keep, or do you want freedom? Do you want to live in your highest self? Do you want to experience true unconditional love for yourself and from others? Do you want to be truly accepted for who you truly are and feel that deep sense of purpose, that deep sense of belonging, that deep sense of knowing that, yes, this is who I am. This is what I came here to be. This is what I came here to do. This is how it was always supposed to be. These are my people. Yes. Is that what you want? Or do you want to keep feeling like you don't belong and you're doing something wrong? Because if you want the freedom, the love, the support, and the true deep knowing and acceptance, it comes with not being accepted by people who never knew who you were in the first place. And for whoever the famous people are that I'm talking to right now, that this message is for, who cares? Who cares? You will never meet, you will never meet quite a bit of your fans, quote unquote fans, and your true fans will still support you. And whatever you do, whatever you come out producing, wherever your soul is taking you, whatever the vibe is that your soul is taking you to do, create, your fans are going to love it. Your true fans, your true friends, your new star family, soul groups will find you, and you will find. That's the thing about this path, is that your true authentic people, your star family, your soul family will not be able to find you while you are still wearing the facade, while you are still in the illusionary world, wearing the mask and living out of alignment. They're not going to be able to find you because you're not putting out your authentic frequency. You're not putting out your authentic bat signal, for lack of better words here. You're like hidden. So until you start doing things that are in alignment with your highest self, your soul's true purpose, until you start doing things that are on the path of your north node, that are on the path of your destiny, you will not encounter these people who are for you. And again, I'm telling you this from my experience. I'm going through it right now. And it is very isolating. You feel invisible a lot of time. And it's meant to be that way, because only people who, once you start reaching a certain frequency, you have this kind of natural, give me the words here, the natural filter that kind of cloaks you from people who are not in alignment with your whatever frequency you're at that point, literally. So it's kind of like being at the grocery store, walking around, and you can see everybody, but only a few people can see you. And that's how it's going to be once you start making that shift. And when you get there, again, I didn't have anybody to tell me these things. I didn't. So I'm just trying to tell you the information that I would have loved for somebody to lay out for me, because it was brutal. I thought I was doing something wrong. So I'm telling you now that once you make the decision to leave behind what was no longer serving you, was never really meant for you, and you enter the threshold of what I call the void, or 4D, the holding space, it's really isolating. You go through intense isolation. You become invisible to a lot of things, a lot of people, and this is the point in which you are required to cut out a lot of your old karmic or toxic ways, people, places, and things. So I'm going to end this one right here and segue into the next episode, but stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this. I love you guys. B Squad. Hey y'all. Okay. We are back. Excuse me. We are back, picking up where I left off. This one is going to be focused around, hopefully, but you know, Source just be hijacking my episodes a lot of times. So my intention is for this episode to be focused on going being in the 4D, going into 5D, and essentially what going through 4D or being in the void requires of you. So going into the void is exactly what it sounds like. It's really not as people make being in the void, seem more scary than it really is. But I think what is the intimidating and or quote unquote scary part for a lot of people is that you can no longer continue doing the shit that you were doing before. In your past life, like that's what we're just going to call it, like in your past version of yourself, before you started this ascension process, before you started the redemption process, whatever you want to call it, before you started this, a lot of us were, like I said, living on demon time all the time, doing some really toxic stuff, living very toxically, living very out of alignment, living in our shadow self all the time, constantly making not kind of the best choices for ourselves or for our lives. And again, there's no judgment. I'm just here to give you the facts. I'm just here to give the messages. But you will be required to go through like a deep purifying process. And again, I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you the vibe. I'm telling you the messages. Don't shoot the messenger here. And I'm also telling you what was required of me from my own personal experiences. And it's rough. I'm giving y'all the fair warning now. I've been on this journey. I've been at this point going through this for almost 2 years now. For 2 years. And it is rough. So the first thing is you will start losing meaningless relationships, connections, friendships, acquaintances, whatever. Anything unaligned must go, like across the board. So it's not just one particular person, place, or thing. If they are unaligned with who you are becoming, with who you're transforming into, with where your energy is currently at, where your frequency is currently at or getting to, or if they are just potentially just, if you were just holding on to them like a lot longer than they were supposed to, and they were already expired from, your soul contract or whatever verbiage you want to put here, title you want to put here, they're going to just kind of like fade out of your life. And the thing to not do, don't do what I did, what I've done, because again, I didn't have the keys that I'm giving you now. So, but like I was like, oh no, like I'm losing people. Like, is it me? And that's the first thing that I did. I took it very personally. I did it. I caused myself, I think, a lot more pain than necessary, because I thought it was me. I was like, why are people running from me? Why does nobody ever stick around? Why is everything always so temporary? What is with these why is it like, I feel like a rental car, it's like rent a friend type of vibe, like per hour type friendships. And it's because just me personally, like I meet people because I have certain, like I have soul contracts to meet with these people, to activate them, to spark their ascension, to spark their awakening. But my soul knows them. And these are people who have not awakened yet, so they really don't know me. And so my dynamic is always usually people run from me. Like, and as a person who's in the position, if any of you guys listening are in this position and you frequently experience what we call runners from you, it's because you're meant to be an awakening. You're an activator for people here. And I just want to give you the heads up on it's not you, but it's not you and it is you at the same time, because that's your purpose here. You're meant to like spark people into awakening. And then, of course, it scares people. And then the next phase is the isolation. So going into the isolation process, going into 4D is meant to be just that, isolating. You're meant to be spending a lot of time alone by yourself in hermit mode, introspecting, taking kind of like self accountability for your life and facing your shadow, facing your shadowy depths and really going deep within yourself to kind of look at the things that you have done and gone through and overcome and experienced in your life up to this point. And they're showing me the judgment card. So like essentially this is kind of like so it's kind of like judgment, like biblically. Y'all know how I feel about it. But anyway, I got to give the messages. But this is kind of like going through Judgment Day, right? Like biblically, when you get to the 4D point of being in the void and being in your isolation time. Sorry, I'm getting messages. So being in your isolation time, it's a lot of people think, oh, okay, I got it. Sorry, guys. A lot of people think that going through death and rebirth, that you experience judgment like you're presented in front of, I don't know, some guy in a robe. I don't know what to say. This is so awkward for me as why did y'all do this to me? As the person that's here to just I'm just trying to give the message out here. People think that like Judgment Day is like, first of all, that like it's a one-time thing and nay. But I think like on Earth, the concept is that like you're like you have to draw your last breath, right? And then then you're presented in front of somebody or something, and that something tells you, but it's really not. It's you go into the void and you you are forced to sit with nothing but yourself to just unpack everything that you have gone through and done in your life thus far up to that point, wherever point you are at, whatever age you're at that point, and really feel that shit. And this is no joke. I'm telling you from experience. Like I go through death and rebirth so frequently. Like I have clinically died at least 14 times in my life. Like no joke. I need y'all to do your research on my medical journey. My life has not been easy. But outside of like the literal death, I experience death, rebirth, judgment process frequently, like on a monthly basis. And I know more than anybody, it's rough. It's really, really rough. And so this is why a lot of people, and again, no shade, I'm just here to give the message, y'all. It's real awkward for me to be in this position, but I'm just trying to tell y'all the messages for real. This is why so many people who have been living life just foul don't want to make the change over to doing things correctly, because they know they got to face their judgment, and their judgment is facing all the things that they have done wrong, all the people that they have wronged, all, you know what I'm saying? All the mistakes that they've made, the regret, the guilt, the shame, it hits you hard, like at once. But this is just the process of it, and you're just meant to sit with it. And here's the key that I got my little bullet points out here, and I keep trying to get into it, but Source, God, Universe keeps coming in here, hijacking the reading. But here's the key. You have to be sober. Like, you can't just drink it away. You can't just smoke it away or pop it away. Whatever coping mechanism you were using or you used to use to like gloss over your terrible decisions or try to mask your emotions, whatever it is, you will be forced. Like, for me, I was on like a lot of medications because, again, just do your research. But they had me on a whole bunch of shit, from like antidepressants and all the things. Like, it was just really, not only was it messing my body up, but it was taking a toll on me mentally and physically. And I just started one day like being like, I can't do this shit no more. I made the conscious decision to be like, I just want to see what it's like. What is my body going to be like if I just gradually stop taking this shit? And that's what I did. And again, I'm not a medical professional, and I want to put this out here very fast, very clearly, very loudly. Do not do what I did, because I'm not like everybody else, and I'm not going to be responsible for people experiencing some sort of ripple effect or some sort of detrimental issues from them not taking their medication. I don't condone that. You need to talk with a licensed medical professional and have them walk you through, weaning off of any medications that you're on. Again, you need to go to your doctor and see a licensed medical professional to have them walk you and go through the process of getting off of your medications. Do not just stop taking your medication. Put that out there now. I'm not a healthcare professional, and I'm not claiming to be. But I'm just speaking from personal experience. I'm just telling you guys my truth of what I did. Just because after 16 years, I was tired of it. And it had only made me worse. So long story short, I got off medications, and it was rough. It was really, really rough. Really, really rough. So not only that, but having ADHD, like I was taking Adderall, and I think that was one of the biggest things but let me tell you, how Source, God, Universe works, right? And it's not that I was really disobeying. Let me stop trying to dance around it. I was disobeying because I was like, how am I going to function? It's scary when you've been on Adderall for a long amount of time. Like, your body gets used to that, especially, again, like I wasn't just taking it for laughs and giggles. Like, I really could not function. I couldn't focus without it. And again, I think a lot of it was because a lot of all the other crap that I was on was messing my body up already. I was so fatigued. I was so tired. I literally could not get out of bed without taking my Adderall, let alone focus. But when I stopped everything else, and the only thing that I was on was just Adderall, it was a huge, it's like that was the last thing, and Source, God, Universe was beating me down. Like, now listen, I done already told you, go ahead and get on off that. And I'm like, yeah, but you're also out here telling me that I need to put out, I'm supposed to be serving the masses. I'm supposed to be, I can't. And anyways, I prolonged that shit as long as I could because I was doing so much. Like, y'all don't see a lot of the stuff that I do purposely. And I was like, how am I going to have energy? And when I can't even get out of bed, like on the weekends, I wouldn't take it. And I would not wake up I'd sleep for like days. For Friday, Saturday, I'd be just in the bed. So I got off. God Source Universe, let me tell you what God Source Universe did. God Source Universe said, all right, we gonna stop all this right now and put out that mass, like, Adderall shortage. Hey, God Source Universe made it so that it was inaccessible to me, right? And so this is how I started gradually weaning off of it, is because I couldn't get it for a long time. And so I had no other choice. I had no other choice but to be off of it. So like there was like 2 weeks where my extended release was just like unobtainable. And so I ended up having like just a few of them left. And so this is how I found out, like, I am completely useless on the days that I don't have this. And so there was just days where I didn't take it. So in a way, God Source Universe was doing what I think medical professionals would probably have done with me. And it was like weaning me off of it strategically. Anyways, so then this one time came where I received the message like, okay, while you're on your job this weekend, we're going into isolation. And while you're in isolation, you're not taking this anymore. You're not taking anything else anymore. And like, this is it. This is it. And it was scary. It was very, very scary. And I was dog sitting, and let me tell you, like, for the life of me, I was struggle bus city to get up every single day and to play with the dogs and to be a functioning person. I mean, I was struggling. I was struggling to take a shower. I was struggling to wash my face. I was struggling to do any kind of anyday things, but I was still posting content. I was still making things, like, and that's all God Source Universe. You know, that was not me because I was exhausted. But yeah, I'm telling you guys all this to tell you that you will be required to detox. So whatever you've been taking, uppers, downers, and all the in-betweens, you will be required to stop it, to purge it, to detox. And no drinking, no smoking, all the things. So I was on this job for a week, and during that week, that's when I started my purge and detox. And that was in May, right at the beginning of May of 2023. And I've not been doing anything. And like again, it's not to say, I don't know, like it's not to say that like you can't ever, like have a drink or, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just the point of, for a certain period of time, you're meant to just sit soberly with yourself and do the really deep introspection and reflection on your life, and have that judgment day, and to take inventory of your body, of your heart, of your mind, and really sit with your emotions, because that's a thing that a lot of us have been, a lot of us have been using these coping mechanisms to avoid the emotions that come along with the shitty decisions that we've made, or that things that have been done to us, the traumas that were done to us, the pain that we're feeling, the heartbreaks, the whatever, right? But during this time of isolation in the void, you are required to be sober. And it is rough. Again, it is not for the faint of heart. It's not an easy process, and it is the number one reason why people do not want to start the process of their awakening, of their ascension, of their transformation, of their redemption, of their healing, is because at a soul level, they already know. At a spiritual level, they already know, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to go through that one. And it's, again, it's not easy, but it's not impossible, because here I am telling you about it, right? It's not impossible, but you are going to feel that. You're going to feel everything. And if you're one of those people who suppresses their emotions, like need to be in control of your emotions at all times, like, oh, I don't cry. There's a stigma, like men don't cry type of thing, and that has really kind of effed us in the long run as well. We have a lot of distorted masculine energy running around here, where they think it's unmanly to cry or show emotions, and the only thing that does is it's like a dam waiting to burst within you, and it harbors anger and resentment and a lot of negative energy that's just been pent up, festering, becoming toxic within you. And you're meant to let that flow, because when you cry, you purge. When you cry, you eliminate these stagnant, pent up emotions, and so that you can be, refreshed and renewed. That's not happening if you're purposely avoiding, like, crying. You're purposely avoiding expressing your emotions, showing your mushy, your soft side, your vulnerable side. If you're avoiding telling people, like, how you're truly feeling, out of fear of judgment, out of fear of not seeming manly or not seeming strong, it's only going to make your inner solace is going to become non-existent, really, for lack of better words. But when you get to the void, when you get to the 4D, when you're in the point of isolation and you are forced to sit with all these things that you have dodged for however long, it's only going to make it worse on you. And again, I take it back to the original. That's why a lot of people try to avoid it, but it's unavoidable at this point. So after you done already dipped your toe into the waters of the of the 4D of the void, there's no turning back. You can't unstart the process. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe you can. I don't know. I don't have a personal experience of that. I can only tell you what I've personally experienced, but it's kind of like you got your toe in there and the sea monster grabs you. The sea monster grabs you. Like, I got you. Never to return after that. Like, got your ass now. And for real, that's really how it is. It's like, all right, we got him. We got you. So that is one thing that you can absolutely look forward to. Put that on the syllabus of things to come for your time here in the 4D. Know it's coming. So Judgment Day, Introspection Day, Self-Reflection, Shadow Work Day, Acknowledging Your Emotions Day, all the things in one is what you can happily look forward to during this time of isolation. But it is ultimately for your highest good, so that you can be brought back anew, refreshed, and go through the rebirth. Right? And that's the part that we look forward to. That's the part that we're pumped and charged up for. That's the part That part there is what we're excited about, looking forward to. So don't just look at it like, oh my God, I gotta go through this. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like the reward for it is walking in your soul's true purpose, is living authentically, is being accepted for for you living in your authentic truth, and being around your real star soul family, and being able to witness and view the true love and support and abundance and freedom and growth that comes from it. Really, it's worth it. And I've only just begun this new season, and I love it here. Really, I'm able to talk to you this way because I have done these things and I am in this place. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm on the way. And so it's really, really important to just keep going, even though you don't really know like what's ahead. You don't really know what's to come. I mean, you kind of do, because I'm giving you the overview kind of right now, but on your individual path, I don't know what's to come, for you, what your true soul's purpose is, what your north node is, where your destiny is or lies. But whatever your ultimate wish fulfillment is or was before you incarnated here on this planet, this lifetime, is probably where you're headed. And so it is absolutely worth it to keep going, and to let those old parts of you fall away and proverbially die, and you'll always keep the lessons, of those past versions of yourself. You'll always keep the wisdom and the knowledge, of that past version of yourself. But let what needs to fall away, not just from within yourself, but, other people, places, and things, and really just take stock of what is not serving you in your life anymore. Take a really good look at yourself, at your life, at the people around you, and think, are they contributing to my life, or are they holding me back? Are they accepting of me, or do they just like what I bring to their life? Are they beneficial in a reciprocity, in a reciprocated way with me, or am I carrying the load? These are questions that you have got to ask, and only you have the answer to, because you make the final judgment call on your end with the people that are around you, with the things that you do, with the places that you associate with. And this is segueing me into the next key point in your isolation period. Things that you will experience is, again, not very many people will make the cut from your past or recent past. Time is a construct. Time is an illusion. It's really difficult for me to talk about quote unquote time to people, but I'm saying like your past, as in the past version of you, the people that knew you when you were in your toxic ways, more than likely are not going to come with you into your new way of living and being, because either A, they aren't gonna be wanting or willing to do the work to meet you at your new level. B, they are now going to run from like your new light, your new higher vibration, and those things. Or C, they're just not compatible at an energetic soul level. So then it takes you back to kind of like being invisible at the grocery store. You can see them, but they aren't going to be able to connect with you on a consistent basis, because we have what's kind of called like the energetic barriers. There's like an energetic, like an invisible wall like if you work for a government facility or something, you get like certain clearance badges, security clearances, and depending upon where you're at, where people are at, is like energetically or at their frequency is where what badge they get for their security clearance. So while you're in this isolation period, your energy starts rising, your vibration and frequency starts rising and shifting. And so therefore your security clearance requirements increase. And if people from your past have not healed or done any work within themselves and they are still at like the lowest possible security clearance badge, they don't have access to you. I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to explain it to you in the best way that I possibly can. So certain people, just until they do the requirements to get a higher level security clearance badge, will not be able to connect with you on a consistent basis, like in at this point in your journey, which is another contributing factor to feeling isolated, to feeling alone. And you will feel a great deep sense of loneliness, of separation, of kind of that feeling invisible, kind of feeling like, where are my people? You just feel really alone at a soul level at this point, kind of like a newborn baby. But you're like this newborn baby that doesn't have any like family, doesn't have like, you know what I'm saying? Again, I'm trying to translate the feeling, the energy into words for everybody. But this is what it's like. And it is also kind of a painful process to go through, because it's like you want to reach out, but you know it's not worth it, because ultimately they're just going to set you back. They're going to set you back. They're going to pull you down. They're going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And this is the point where you're going to be required to hold very firm boundaries, to set very firm boundaries, to say no a lot, to hold the fort. You know what I'm saying? Of not letting people back in until they themselves have done the work. And you'll be able to feel it. Like you'll be able to energetically feel like they still on that bullshit. Or like, okay, they doing some work. You know what I'm saying? So just again, as I said in the last episode, don't go against what's falling away. Don't try to hold on to what's falling away, because it ultimately just kind of hurts you in the end. If people are falling out of your life, if you're having difficulties connecting with somebody that you really want to connect with, like it's the it's the clearance thing happening. So you have to understand that and don't take it personally. People are running from you, or if you're feeling like you're invisible, again, just understand it's the security clearance thing, it's the frequency thing, and keep it moving. Do not take it to heart. Do not let it like crush you like it did me, because I really did. It really, and even now I have this deep sense of longing for my people, because like I said, I'm telling you this as I'm going through it. And it is very lonely. Like it is very, very lonely. And you want so badly, you crave to be fully understood, fully recognized and seen and appreciated as you are by your people. You have this deep longing for home, but like not like home as in like any set location, but more so within like your star family. your soul family. And yeah, they just keep giving me this image of like this new, like being like a newborn baby, like, and it's like, where are my people? And so that's another thing that happens during this time of your rebirth and being in the void and during your isolation process. But also during this, it's the time to formulate, what do you really want out of your life now at this point? Who are you? Who are you really? Who are you trying to become? And what makes you happy? What is your true north? What is your passion? What lights you up? What brings you joy? And this is the time that, again, you need to start treating yourself as a child again, and getting back in touch with your child, your inner child, and reparenting your inner child. And this is a requirement because you have just gone through this quote unquote rebirth. So you are, in a sense, this infant, and that infant needs to be reparented. So you want to be able to give yourself all the things that your inner child craves. So for me, I've been recently like coloring a lot, watching a lot of cartoons that I love. I'm a SpongeBob person. I love SpongeBob. I like Scooby-Doo a lot. So I've been getting back in touch with that, getting back in touch with a lot of animes that I liked as a child. And these are things that are really important. What did you like doing when you were a child, when you were a kid? And do it. No judgment. You don't need to, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to have outside validation for what you're doing. Nobody's going to understand what you're going through unless they too are going through it. And if you're at this point, I guarantee those people are not currently around you in your life. So it's useless in a sense to want to explain what you're going through to a lot of other people around you. Journaling is kind of a good outlet for when you want to just get things out. But it is so very important to play, to nurture your inner child right now, to be very gentle with yourself right now, to think of yourself as like a newborn, as a child, really, and to nurture that part of you and remember, what is it that you used to love to do? What was your thing? What was your passion as a child? And just try everything, honestly, at this point. While you're in isolation, just try everything. Do everything and don't worry about it. Look at the world through the eyes of like childlike wonder, right? Curiosity. I tell myself all the time, I love The Hobbit, and they always play for me whenever I'm feeling kind of hard on myself. They'll always play in my head like, I'm going on an adventure, you know, and that's how you're just kind of meant to look at life, as it's just this one big adventure at this point in time, at this point in your process. It's an adventure. This is a new adventure, and look at it as such, right? It's so very important to keep that childlike wonder happy and going and fueled by just try things, and don't worry about like, oh, I might fail at this, or like, oh, you know, this might not be my thing. I literally just picked up everything. I got a bunch of art books. I got like a 3D pen. I go and swing a lot of times. Like, I go to the park. I like water, so I've been trying to get back in touch with the water, going swimming a lot. And self-care. Self-care is so important. Pamper yourself. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. Like, you can go to Target and get a bunch of things that make you feel good. Like, if you're a man, get you some nice like beard oil, you know, get you some, I don't know what like men like to do to pamper themselves, but do that. You can go to Target and get you a whole bunch of stuff. Have you a at-home spa day. Get you some. Men can do some face masks and some feet masks too. Light you a nice candle. Get you some eucalyptus. Get you a essential oil diffuser and put that bad boy by your bed and just have you a good time. Really pamper yourself. Self-care is so important right now. Nurture yourself. Love yourself. Be very compassionate and gentle with yourself at this time. Be like a child and treat yourself as such. Because that's really, really a necessary, vital step and component at this point in 4D, in the void. While you're going through this isolation, it's not just about, going through this very dark time, this, or whatever, going through judgment. It is about this. It's about the rebirth that comes after. And going through that, you need to nurture yourself, because you can't just, you're not meant to just suffer. That's not what this is about. And I want to make that very clear. This is not about like just a time of just sitting there and like suffer and be down. Like, yeah, you're going to feel some shit, and you're going to be sad, and you're going to grieve the loss of like your old self and your old life. But you got to get out of that. Like, you can't just wallow. And while you're going through that, you're meant to be making changes. You're meant to be taking care of yourself, taking care of your mind, taking care of your body, eating some really good foods. That's another thing. A lot of stuff that you used to eat it's not gonna be it for you anymore. You can't do fast food and like artificial stuff all the time. Your food, your diet is going to change. You're going to want healthier things, and your body will kind of start rejecting stuff that is like very toxic and bad for you. You need to like cut the sugary drinks and foods, like the sodas. Start drinking a lot more water. Start drinking, more like organic juices. Incorporate some smoothies a lot. Mind, body, soul, health is one big moving machine, right? So all of it needs to be in flow, in sync, and working properly for you to move about most efficiently after this rebirth. So that's important. That's another thing that you will experience, but also just try to be mindful about what goes into your body from this point onward. And the last thing that I want to talk about on here is keeping your body pure, because you don't want to go through. Let me put it out there. Like sexually. And this is probably going to be like the hardest one for a lot of people. Now, the hardest one, from what I have heard, feedback line has been the just making the initial decision to get to the point of, all right, I'm going to make some changes, and I'm leaving the toxic ways behind. That and sitting with your mistake. Judgment Day has forever been the hardest part, but the not having casual sex, which is anybody, because let me tell you why. And again, this is like a no judgment thing. I've been there. We've all been there. Like, don't come at me with this. Like, oh, I never. Like, don't do that. Don't. We're all here for a reason, okay? So, like, ain't nobody a saint. But I'm telling you this because you don't want to go through what you have gone through and the aforementioned. All that suffering, all that sitting there in silence. You don't want to get to this point and then hook up with somebody who has done zero work, and now you have taken on their karma, their energy, their bloodline, lineages, issues, karmic cycles, patterns, and all the things. Like, that's a real thing. Energy exchange is a real thing. So while you might be glowing on this like love and light high frequency, like if you have sex with somebody who's still on like very toxic demon time, low vibe, great. Like, they're going to feel great afterwards, and you're going to feel like shit. And it's going to take a long time for you to get that out of you. Really, I'm telling you this from experience. So like, I'm for real. I'm telling you the things that I wish people had told me. So you don't have to go through it. So you do not want to go through all the work that you have just gone through to get to this point, and you will be tested. Trust me. You will be tested. To just get set back like 3 steps and have to like repeat the process just because you couldn't stave off the temptation and have some self-love time to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you fell into the trap of temptation and had, had some freaky time with somebody who, you didn't spiritually vet first. It's not worth it. To me, it hasn't been worth it. So like, your girl has been keeping it on lock, like I said, for 2 years. So it's rough. It is rough. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. But again, neither is going through all the work spiritually that you have done, gotten to the point that you've gotten to up to this point, only to throw it away and set yourself back 3 steps, 4 steps, just for the evening delight. You know what I'm saying? You could have had evening delight time by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, without the trouble, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's to me, it's not worth it. So you are going to have very firm boundaries. You're going to have to be very mentally, physically, and spiritually strong at this time. Because again, also as you grow and you heal, your vibration and frequency and energy starts rising, and it becomes very magnetizing to like a moth to the flame, right? Your energy will become like drawing in. You'll draw in your people, but you'll also draw in a lot of unhealed people as well. And oftentimes the unhealed things are packaged very nicely. Temptation knows what we like. And again, like, it's not to say that you can't be flirtatious and you can't, you know what I'm saying? But like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do the penetration. Don't do that, because then you played yourself. And then you're going to have to reflect upon that. And then you're going to have to do your work and clear some shit that's like not even yours. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it to me in the long run, especially after I don't know what everybody's individual path is going to look like or will be like when they have to, sit in their isolation and solitude. But it is rough, and I do know that as a fact, just as a general overall. It's going to be rough. It's going to suck. You are going to feel everything. And just for that simple fact, I feel that it is not a wise move to just have some casual hookups with some unvetted spiritual people just because they look good, right? Have some self-love time and keep it moving. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for this very long episode. But, I got to give the messages when Source Guide Universe comes through for me to give messages. So I'm going to leave it there. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side and come at you on the next episode. I love you all. V Squad.